Welcome back to Healthier Daily. I want to start today with a question that might surprise you. When you reach for a handful of nuts from your pantry, do you think of them as a healthy snack or a medical prescription? Most people think nuts are just good for you, but the latest research in the Journal of the American College of Cardiology tells a much more complicated story.
It is a double-edged shell bin. For someone over 60, eating the wrong kind of nut isn't just a minor mistake. It can raise your risk of heart disease by almost 48%. These little snacks can spark inflammation, mess with your blood pressure, and even cloud your memory if you aren't careful.
That is the coon and go at the big twist. We've been told our whole lives that nuts are a superfood, but for a senior's body, certain nuts contain hidden toxins that can quietly damage your liver and your brain. Today, we are revealing the 4 nuts you must eat and the 4 you should never touch.
We are starting with a powerhouse for your independence. Number 4, almonds. As we get older, our biggest fear is often losing our mobility because of a fall. Almonds are like a construction crew for your bones. They are loaded with calcium and vitamin E, but it's their magnesium that makes them truly special for those over 65.
I love to call magnesium the biological traffic cop. Think about it, your body has all this calcium floating around. Without a traffic cop, that calcium gets lost. It ends up in your arteries where it causes heart problems. But magnesium stands in the middle of the road and directs that calcium into your bones where it belongs and away from your heart.
Nodding. It keeps your house sturdy and your pipes clear. And for my friends who worry about their memory, researchers at Tufts University found that almonds actually act like rust-proofing for your brain cells. They protect you from the oxidative stress that makes us forgetful. Just make sure to eat them with the skin on. That is where the most powerful medicine lives.
Now, if you want a nut that specifically targets the wiring in your head, we have to talk about number 3, walnuts. Dr. Hinohara, people always joke that walnuts look like little brains. Is that just a coincidence?
It is nature's way of giving us a hint. Ben, walnuts are packed with a plant-based omega-3 called ALA. I want you to imagine your brain cells like tiny telephone wires. As we age, those wires get stiff and brittle. ALA acts like a lubricant that keeps those connections flexible so your thinking speed stays fast.
A study in the Journal of Nutrition found that seniors who ate just a handful of walnuts a day showed much better problem-solving skills in only 8 weeks. They also have a secret nighttime bonus. They contain melatonin. Since our bodies make less melatonin as we get older, a few walnuts after dinner can actually help you get that deep restorative sleep your brain craves.
We have built the bones and greased the brain, but next, we have to talk about your vision shield and the tiny green nut that acts better than some blood pressure medications.
Before we reveal the eye shield at number 2, I have to ask, how old are you and which nut has been your go-to snack lately? Tell us in the comments. We're building a community of wisdom here, and we read every single story. And if you're ready to protect your heart, hit that subscribe button right now. All right, we've built a strong foundation for your bones and your brain. But now I want to talk about the 2 numbers seniors worry about most at their checkups: blood pressure and energy levels. That leads us to number 2 on our must-eat list: pistachios. Now, Dr. Hinohara, you often call these little green gems nature's blood pressure pill, don't you?
I certainly do. Ben, you see, as we cross the age of 60, our bodies act like an old machine that starts to hold on to too much salt, or what doctors call sodium. That extra salt puts a massive strain on your arteries and pushes your blood pressure up. Pistachios are loaded with potassium. I want you to imagine potassium as a janitor for your blood vessels. It helps your kidneys flush out all that extra salt, allowing your pipes to relax and your blood pressure to drop naturally.
It's incredible, really. Studies show that just one handful of pistachios a day can drop that top blood pressure number, the systolic, by 3 to 5 points. That is a significant win without a single side effect. But pistachios aren't just for your heart, they are also a bodyguard for your eyes. They are rich in lutein and zeaxanthin. For our American seniors, these are the two shields that protect you from macular degeneration, which is the leading cause of vision loss as we age.
Smiling. And here is another plus for my older friends. Pistachios are soft and easy to chew. If you struggle with harder nuts like almonds because of sensitive teeth or dentures, pistachios are your best friend. I always tell my patients to buy them in the shell. The act of cracking them open forces you to eat slower, which gives your brain time to realize you're full, so you don't overindulge. Just about 49 nuts a day is the sweet spot for your heart and your eyes.
Now we are coming to a nut that I bet most people walk right past in the grocery store, yet it holds the key to your daily get up and go. Number 1 on the must-eat list, Brazil nuts. This isn't just a snack. It's a power plant for your thyroid.
Exactly, Ben. The magic word here is selenium. Your thyroid is a tiny gland, but it controls everything: your energy, your metabolism, even your mood. As we age, the thyroid often gets sluggish, which makes you feel tired, gain weight, or feel blue for no reason. Just one single Brazil nut a day provides more than enough selenium to keep that engine running smooth.
It really is a case of small but mighty. One nut a day helps lower inflammation and protects your nerve cells. But listen closely to my warning: with Brazil nuts, more is not better. Because they are so powerful, if you eat too many, you can actually get too much selenium. Just one nut with your breakfast is all you need to feel sharp and energized.
We have covered our 4 best friends in the pantry. But now we have to enter the danger zone. There are 4 nuts that many of you are eating every single day thinking they are healthy, but they are actually working behind your back to damage your health.
The first one on our never touch list is going to be a total shock because it is the most popular snack in America. But before we pull back the curtain on this imposter, I have to ask, have you been feeling more tired lately, or are you struggling with your blood pressure? Tell us your story in the comments. We use your experiences to help guide our advice. And if this information is opening your eyes, hit that like button right now. We are officially entering the danger zone. We've talked about the 4 nuts that act like medicine, but now we have to address the 4 that act like a slow poison for a senior's body. And we are starting with the biggest shocker of them all. Number 4 on our never touch list, peanuts. Now I know what you're thinking. Ben, Americans live on peanuts. Peanut butter is a staple. But Dr. Hinohara, as a surgeon, you see a side of peanuts that most people never hear about, right?
It is a hard truth to tell Ben, but it is necessary. First, we have to remember that peanuts aren't actually nuts. They are legumes like beans. Because they grow underground in damp soil, they are prone to a very specific and dangerous mold called aflatoxin. I want the Healthier Daily family to think of aflatoxin as a silent arsonist. It enters your body and travels straight to your liver.
This is the Kuhn-Goat, the big twist. When we are young, our livers are strong and can filter out small amounts of these toxins. But after age 65, your liver becomes less efficient at cleaning the house. These toxins can build up over time, increasing the risk of liver damage and even serious cellular changes. It's like pouring dirty fuel into an aging engine. It's going to cause a breakdown.
And it isn't just the mold bin. Peanuts are loaded with omega-6 fats. Now, our bodies need some omega-6, but in the American diet, we have way too much. For a senior already struggling with arthritis, joint pain, or creaky knees, omega-6 act like liquid fire. It fuels inflammation in your joints and your arteries. If you've been wondering why your knees hurt more after snacking on a jar of roasted peanuts, you now have your answer.
And let's be honest about how we eat peanuts in this country. Most people aren't eating raw peanuts from the shell. They are eating peanuts that have been roasted in unhealthy seed oils, coated in sugar, or buried in salt. This salt spike is a disaster for your blood pressure. It cancels out all the hard work your must-eat nuts are trying to do.
I tell my patients, if you love the taste, have a tiny bit of organic Valencia peanut butter. Occasionally, Valencia peanuts are grown in drier climates and have less mold. But as a daily snack, it is a health trap for seniors. You are much better off choosing those almonds or walnuts we talked about earlier.
Now we have to talk about another creamy favorite that people often use as a dairy substitute. Number 3 on the never touch list, cashews. Dr. Hinohara, people love cashews because they are soft and buttery, but for someone managing their blood sugar or their kidneys, these can be a hidden nightmare.
They are very deceptive. Bin cashews are much higher in carbohydrates than almost any other nut. If you are one of the millions of seniors living with prediabetes or type 2 diabetes, a handful of cashews can cause a blood sugar spike that you weren't expecting. It's like eating a small piece of bread instead of a healthy fat.
And then there are the oxalates. This is a term I want everyone to remember. Oxalates are tiny compounds that can bind to calcium in your kidneys and form kidney stones. As we get older, our kidney function naturally slows down, making us more vulnerable to these stones. Cashews are one of the highest oxalate nuts on the shelf.
We are revealing the hidden dangers that the marketing companies don't want you to see. We have exposed the liver-stressing peanuts and the kidney-straining cashews. But next, we are moving to a nut that is a calorie bomb for your heart.
And then we have number 1, the nut that can actually make your medications stop working. Before we reveal the medication interferer, I have to ask, do you eat peanuts or cashews every day? And have you noticed any joint pain or blood sugar swings afterward? Share your experience in the comments. Let's help each other spot these hidden traps. We are moving deeper into the danger zone now. We've looked at the liver-straining peanuts and the kidney-straining cashews. But this next one is a favorite in gift baskets and luxury snack mixes. Number 2 on the never touch list, macadamia nuts. Now, Dr. Hinohara, these are delicious, they're buttery and rich, but for a senior trying to protect their heart, they are a hidden heavyweight, aren't they?
They are a calorie bomb bin. I want you to imagine a tiny handful of these nuts, just a small scoop. That little serving can pack over 200 calories. But here is the real concern: most of those calories come from saturated fat. While we need some healthy fats, macadamias are loaded with the specific type of fat that can raise your LDL, or bad cholesterol.
And as we've discussed, as we get older, Our cardiovascular system is already under more pressure. Adding a massive load of saturated fat from a snack can be the straw that breaks the camel's back. But there's another side to this that people rarely talk about: the gallbladder. Because macadamias are so incredibly rich, they can overwhelm an aging gallbladder, leading to bloating stomach pain and even those painful gallstone flare-ups.
Nodding. It is a lot of work for your digestive system to process that much fat at once. And we have to be honest, macadamias are very dense. For my friends with sensitive teeth crowns or dentures, one wrong bite on a hard macadamia can lead to an expensive trip to the dentist. When you weigh the risks, the cholesterol spike, the calorie load, and the dental danger, it is simply not the best choice for a daily snack.
Now we have reached the most mysterious and dangerous nut on our list. Most people only eat this in pesto or sprinkled on a salad, and they think it's perfectly harmless. But for a senior on prescription meds, this is a major red flag. Number 1 on the never touch list, pine nuts. Dr. Hinohara, this one carries a risk that almost no one, not even some doctors, talks about.
This is the medication saboteur bin. Pine nuts contain certain compounds that can actually interfere with how your liver processes medicine. Research suggests they can reduce the effectiveness of over half of common medications. If you are taking prescriptions for blood pressure, cholesterol, or arthritis, pine nuts could be the reason your medicine isn't working as well as it should.
That is a massive coup, a huge twist. Imagine doing everything right, taking your meds, eating your salads, but your pine nut topping is sabotaging your treatment. And then there is pine nut syndrome. It sounds like a myth, but it is a real medical condition where eating these nuts leaves a bitter metallic taste in your mouth for weeks.
For a senior, that metallic taste ruins the flavor of all food. It leads to a loss of appetite, and when you stop eating well, you lose weight and your immune system gets weak. It is a downward spiral caused by a tiny nut. And because pine nuts have a very high oil content, they go rancid or spoil faster than any other nut. If you eat a rancid pine nut, you are eating oxidized fat, which creates massive inflammation in your joints.
The message is clear: if you are over 60 and taking any kind of medication, pine nuts are a health gamble you don't need to take. We have covered the power 4 to eat and the risky 4 to avoid. But we aren't done yet. We need to show you how to put this all together into a senior nut protocol so you know exactly how much to eat and when.
Before we reveal the final protocol, I have a very important question. Are you taking any medications for blood pressure or cholesterol? Tell us in the comments. We want to see how many of you might be at risk from the medication saboteur we just discussed.
We have laid out the evidence. We've seen the power 4 that act like medicine and the risky 4 that act like a slow sabotage. But now, Dr. Hinohara, I know what our friends at home are thinking. Dr. Ben, I have a jar of peanuts and a bag of cashews in my pantry right now. What do I do? And how much of the good nuts should I actually be eating?
It is time for the senior nut protocol. We don't want you to feel overwhelmed. We want you to feel in control. The first step is what I call the pantry purge. If you have those pine nuts or heavily salted peanuts, don't feel guilty, just move them out. Your health is worth more than the $5 you spent on that jar.
That is a great point. And once you've cleared the danger zone nuts, you need to know the senior dosage. Remember, even healthy nuts are very dense. You can't eat a whole bucket of them. Here is the daily prescription for a body over 60 Brazil nuts. Exactly one per day. Think of it as your natural selenium pill. Walnuts 7 to 9 halves. This is your brain lubricant dose. Pistachios, a small handful, about 49 nuts. This is your blood pressure shield. Almonds, about 23 nuts. This is your bone construction kit.
And here is a very important Dr. Hinohara's secret, the refrigerator rule. Most people keep their nuts in a plastic container on the counter. But because nuts are full of those healthy oils we talked about, heat and light can turn them rancid. When a nut goes rancid, it becomes an inflammation bomb. For seniors, I always recommend keeping your walnuts and almonds in the refrigerator. It keeps the medicine fresh and powerful for months.
That is a life-saving tip. Rancid oil is one of the biggest hidden causes of joint pain in older adults. Now, for those of you who find whole nuts hard to chew, don't let that stop you. You can get the same benefits from unsweetened nut butters. Just look at the label. It should say almonds and maybe salt, and that's it. No sugar, no palm oil, and no seed oils.
I also want to talk about a quick swap guide. If you usually put peanuts in your salad, try slivered almonds instead. If you use cashews for a creamy snack, try walnut halves. And instead of using pine nuts in your pesto, use pistachios. These small swaps can lower your systemic inflammation by nearly 30% in just a few weeks.
It's about making the healthy choice the easy choice. You aren't giving up snacks, you are upgrading your fuel. I've seen patients who made these swaps and told me that their brain fog lifted and their knees stopped throbbing within just 1 month. Your body is ready to heal, you just have to give it the right tools.
But we have one final piece of the puzzle. We've talked about the heart, the brain, and the bones. But there is a final message of longevity. I want to share that ties all of this together. It's about why your choices today matter more than the choices you made 20 years ago.
We're heading into the final wrap-up and the longevity blessing. But before we go there, I have a challenge for our Healthier Daily family. Will you commit to the pantry purge tonight? Type "I am committed" in the comments if you're ready to clear out the danger zone and start the Senior Nut Protocol. We have covered so much ground today. We've moved from the startling reality of the 48% heart risk to the incredible healing power of the thyroid master and the brain lubricant. Dr. Hinohara, as a man who has lived through over 10 decades of health transitions, what is the one thing you want our friends at home to hold on to as they close this video?
I want them to know that it is never too late to change your biology. I see so many seniors who think that because they've eaten a certain way for 50 years, the damage is already done. But your body is a masterpiece of repair. Every time you choose a walnut over a pine nut or a Brazil nut over a handful of cashews, you are sending a new set of instructions to your cells. You are telling your heart, we are staying strong. You are telling your brain, we are staying sharp.
That is so powerful. The damage is not permanent. To make sure everyone leaves here with a clear plan, let's go over the Healthier Daily Pantry Checklist one last time. Grab a pen and write this down. The must-eats: almonds for bones, walnuts for brain, pistachios for blood pressure, and 1 Brazil nut for thyroid energy. The never touches: peanuts, liver toxins, cashews, blood sugar spikes, macadamias, saturated fat bomb, and pine nuts, medication sabotage. The storage rule: keep your healthy nuts in the fridge to stop rancid rust from hurting your joints.
And remember the golden rule of timing. Your body loves routine. I want you to imagine yourself waking up 2 weeks from now. Imagine feeling that steady energy from your thyroid, seeing the world a bit clearer through your eyes, and walking with a solid feeling in your legs, because your bones have the magnesium they need.
That vision is possible for you. It doesn't matter if you're 65, 80, or 92. The science of nutritional intervention works at any age. You just have to be the gatekeeper of your own kitchen. Don't let the marketing companies or the cheap snack aisles decide how your heart's going to feel tomorrow.
Don't wait for someday. Someday is the next time you feel hungry. Choose the nut that heals. You'll be amazed at how fast the brain fog clears and the creaky feeling in your knees starts to fade away.
If today's masterclass gave you a sense of hope or a new roadmap for your health, please hit that like button. It helps us reach more seniors who feel like they've been left behind by modern nutrition. And if you haven't joined our Healthier Daily family yet, hit that subscribe button. We are your partners in this journey to 100 and beyond.
Always check with your primary care doctor before starting a new supplement or dietary routine, especially if you are on blood thinners, manage chronic kidney disease, or have nut allergies.
Be patient with your progress, be kind to your cells, and remember your body is listening to every choice you make. Give it the gift of the right fuel.
Stay strong, stay sharp, and we will see you in the next video.
Stay healthy, everyone.